Hey guys. So this is Detox. And well, we're doing this virtually. And Dylan is looking festive in a delightful flannel. Of course, Dixon flannel, only the finest. I too rocking a Dixon. So Dylan, I asked to come on. We've thought, man, we haven't been doing Detox for a while. So why not do a couple virtual Detox this week when it's kind of slowed down here at the Rag Company and for some of the other businesses because it is the holidays. And we thought, why not get down and chat and hang out? Even though Dylan and I just saw each other a couple times last couple weeks, it's always fun to be able, I know I can count on him to hang out, chat, talk, do some stuff. So for you guys, this is just going to be kind of a hangout, talk about, maybe what we're seeing in the detailing industry at the moment, like what we're kind of looking towards. This has been a very odd year, not only for us at the Rag Company, but I'm sure also for RUPES in general. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dylan von Kleist of RUPES USA. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, buddy? Just getting together for some hot flannel talk.
Oh, yes. Always the best.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks, actually. Everything seems to be, obviously changing rapidly. So we're shifting a little bit back to, you can tell I'm in my home office again, not my work office. So moved all my stuff here, and I'm, I've literally moved my whole office here. I even stole my office chair from work because it was a nicer chair than I had at home. So
yeah,
I'm fully posted up here at the VK HQ. Prepared to dispense knowledge via the interwebs. So
well, and I think that's kind of the, I talked about, I kind of brought this up on my podcast, The Master of Shine at Home, but we're kind of entering into this weird new phase where it's almost like March all over again, where everybo's having these spikes with COVID. We're kind of having to lock down again. Like you said, you're back at home working again. The Rag Company, we have enacted a very hard kind of quarantine between the buildings. So we're not allowed to enter different buildings. And so me and the media team have been kind of stuck in this building, which has been hard because usually for Black Friday, we got our best sale of the year going, our biggest sale. So we're over there helping, we're helping pack orders. We're helping fill buckets for the team. And we're not allowed to be in that building. So it's really
weird times, right?
Yeah.
We thought we'd be past it by now.
Right? Yeah.
And here we are going the other direction again.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. I know for a lot of detailers, they're having to deal with this, whether it's hopefully their cities don't, shut down businesses again. They're not deemed as an essential company. Hopefully they can stay busy through the winter, especially because this is usually like that short time. That's the slow season, the start of slow season. A lot of businesses really slow down during the holidays. And then what little work they have, if they're deemed, hey, you got to close down, I mean, it's going to be a hard winter for a lot of folks. So hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully they can do that. But on top of that, if they're not closed down, you've got kids at home. I mean, you've got your kids at home. I've got my kids at home. Our wives have to deal with that blowback basically for, January at this point. Yeah. This is a super long Christmas break.
Yeah, this is the world's longest Christmas break, right?
Yeah.
But it's, in a way it's kind of good because for those guys who would be slowing down, maybe it's not completely unusual to kind of get into this mode of, we're not performing services at the rate we were doing in the summer months, but I'm sure it's still painful. I'm taking the opportunity kind of to really kind of look at how we do business even. And I've been recommending to guys, I actually had a guy reach out today who's asking, he's a detailer, and he just, what do I do during this time frame where my city's like basically stopping me from taking appointments and things. And I said, well, it's not ideal. Obviously you want to keep the doors open, you want to keep the revenue coming in, but it is a good time to work on those things that maybe you don't normally have time to do. So even I'm doing that. Today I've been working on kind of reevaluating how our distributor locator works and how we direct customers to distributors like the Rag Company and brick and mortar stores and stuff. And because people have changed how they're shopping now, right? They're doing more research online. They're buying online because they have to, or because either they don't want to be out in public if they don't have to be. And so I like the guy I was talking to today just made the recommendation. There's got to be some things on that list. We all have them. When you and I were detailing and in your daily life, you have these things that you can't get to, that I'm too busy, I can't do this.
Right.
Well, make the best of a bad situation and take some of this downtime and invest it into things, those projects that you don't normally have time to attack. Maybe whether it be kind of looking into, Google ads or Facebook ads, or revamping your marketing, or giving your a website a refresh. These are things that don't necessarily cost you a ton of money. Some of them can actually start to maybe pay some dividends after, if your area is shut down or if business is slow. But can't take the downtime and just go, well, it's downtime, that sucks, and I'm going to lose money. I mean, the flow of revenues decreasing is a bad thing, but take that time and invest it into something that maybe pays dividends later.
Yeah,
would be my advice.
For me, I would have used this time, if I think back and think to if I had my business still in my shop with my guys, I would have asked the guys, one, voluntarily take some time off if they felt like it, the perfect time to do it. Plus, so maybe close the business for Black Friday. You've got Thanksgiving, you got Black Friday. Hey, we're all going to be back in the shop on Monday. Give us a few days, give everybody a couple extra days that maybe you weren't given previously, or state, hey, I'm going to be coming in this weekend. I'm going to be cleaning the shop. We're going to do a deep clean. Maybe we're going to paint some walls. Maybe we're going to fix this place up, especially if they've gotten hard and fast into cleaning into detailing the place, or detailing cars. They haven't had time to clean the facility properly. Take a couple of days and just really go to town on it. Fix the outside of the building, clean up the shop, just make the place look presentable and make sure that your appearance is looking good. And then also be able to focus on all those technical things like you're talking about. Maybe redesign the website, maybe go through your pricing structure, change your pricing, look at that kind of stuff. Another thing that a lot of guys put off, a lot of detailers just seem to, they're scared of, they're worried about. It's always good to at least have one dealership in your back pocket, even if it's not something that you do a lot of. It's nice to always have that continual dealership. Reach out to them and go, hey, look, what do you have? What do you need done? Maybe they gave you a couple cars a week. Call them and see if you could take a few more. A lot of dealerships, this is they're getting into their slow time too. But what people don't realize is, people shop on Black Friday. I mean, they do, but I mean, they car shop on Black Friday. That's another crazy thing
for car dealerships. Yeah.
Well, because Thursday they're all closed, and so a ton of people are done eating turkey and they don't know what to do, so they'll go drive around, and they actually drive to dealerships because the dealerships are closed, and they can kind of take a look and sneak a peek and see and browse. Yeah, without anybody there. And, and then go in for the weekend of Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a ton of car sales and car deals that go on that weekend that a lot of people just don't realize actually happen. So,
well, and I've said it, I think, on other detox episodes before too. And this does speak a little bit to that kind of diversify your offerings thing, right? We've talked, I know you and I have talked specifically about this on camera before. There are guys that just refuse to accept that express detail, low dollar, high volume type work because they're all, I specialize in corrections and coatings. And that's fine. You could specialize in something, but you can't completely ignore the rest of the spectrum. I mean, detailing in terms of service is a spectrum, right? You've got everything from the basic wash and wax. Detailer cleans the outside but doesn't do anything with correction or decontamination, and he'll vacuum the inside but he won't remove stains. And then all the way up to, I can deliver 100% perfection, wrap your car in film, coat that film, tint your windows, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there's a sliding scale that runs in between there, and so if nothing else, the current situation kind of demonstrates the need to have that diversification. Whether you are a express guy and you do mostly express but you don't do any high-end stuff, or vice versa, you should have a little mix of both, in some ratio in both sides. That way, if one dries up, to your point, if it's hard to get individuals in for appointments due to whatever the current regulations are in your area or what restrictions you're working under, you can still reach out to that dealership and maybe there is the opportunity there. I mean, it's going to vary, obviously.
Yeah.
The pandemic situation has made things very confusing, city by city. But maybe there's an opportunity there. But if you ignored that, you haven't developed that when you had the chance, it's a rough time to develop it now. You can try, but it'd be nice to have that insurance policy in place, right? When all of your high-end stuff goes away, you could still be doing the occasional express detail or dealership work or used car recon, that kind of stuff, to at least keep the revenue coming in, right? And
Right.
so that's another thing to be looking at. You can't just shut down completely. As much as you can, you need to try and keep that revenue flowing in one way or the other. And there are, again, vary by city and by county and different regulations in your area, but there's probably some kind of alternative you could be looking into to keep that revenue coming in when you're done with all the housekeeping projects.
Right. Yeah.
Tidying
No.
the shop.
Well, and it's just one of those things where you look at it and I never poo-pooed dealership work because of the fact that I could always have 5 to 10 cars sitting in the lot all the time on my property just to work on. And they were easy. They were always, there were some hard ones, and we get the good with the bad, but there was always work to be done. And so no matter what, I could say, hey guys, we're going to take the day off today, from detailing cars. I'm going to pay everybody like a flat rate for the day, but we're going to deep clean this shop, that way tomorrow we can come back in and, we've got 10 cars sitting here, and this should carry us, for the rest of the week. We've got a couple of retails scheduled, and we'll just do what we can. And a lot of guys loved it. A lot of guys were like, hey, can I just take these days off? Yeah, go for it. Like, it saved me money because I didn't have to pay them for those 3 days that they wanted to take off. And and they were happy to do it. They were like, woo, 3 days off, like, or whatever. They're excited to take that. So I think the hard thing is just trying to make sure, all of us aren't sure what the current, how the winter's going to go. For me, I talked about, just trying to make sure that I'm doing what I need to for my family's sanity, for my sanity, to be able to make sure that I'm still doing things. So whatever I need to do to be a dad, to be a father, to be a husband, like I need to be able to make sure that I'm doing everything right, as well as being able to take care of business and be able to do things not only here at the rag company, but at home at the MOS HQ. Like, because I'm looking at it going, I'm getting light for December. Do I need to make an ad? Do I need to make a post to try and drum up some business? Do I need to come up with I had friends that last year kept me busy all winter, which was great because they were doing Christmas presents for their spouses. Oh, I'm going to get their car detailed as a Christmas present. It was like, yes, please. That works. So, we always do that. We did gift certificates, gift cards, like, build a small package, one that may only take you 45 minutes, put it on there for $150, and make a deal, or $200, and see how many of those you can sell. That brings in revenue and I will say this, give it a 1-year time frame. Like, don't let it.
Put an expiration on it.
Put an expiration date on it, because I had one guy who would buy a gift certificate every year for his mom, but she wouldn't use it until her car was the absolute nastiest it possibly could become, and he would pay for it. He'd buy it for $200 the first year. She showed up 2 years later with that thing. And I was like, oh, I am screwed on this. So then the next year I said, hey, I'm putting a 1-year cutoff on this. And he said, not a problem. She showed back up, and this time the car was 10 times worse than it was the year before. And I was like, I can't do this for you anymore. And so the third year I said, I'm going to do up to this amount of work for you specifically, because I got burned on those deals. So I always try and tell people, if you're going to do gift certificates, you're going to do the gift cards, build a package, spell it out. This is exactly what we're doing. Anything above and beyond is going to incur an extra fee. But that was an easy way, and especially with like a 1-year time frame on those, most people didn't do them till after the start of the new year. So you could count that revenue at the end of the year, and it got you through. And then at the beginning of the year, those you could space out when you actually got into your busy months, and it wasn't a burden or oh man, we're missing out, because it was a low number, right?
Yeah.
It was a half a detail or one detail or whatever it is.
Another idea to get guys through this period, and we've seen it here locally, here in Colorado. Local chamber of commerce type things have promoted this idea, and I think it's good. They focus primarily on restaurants, but I think it could be something the detailers could look at, is offer some kind of promotion on that gift card that is a, buy it now because I can't service your car and it's X amount dollar, it's X percent cheaper, it's 10% off gift card purchases, but they can't be redeemed until we reopen.
Right.
So you're basically getting some revenue in the door now. It's basically kind of taking sales on the front end so that you can do that business on the back end. Obviously, it's going to suck to have to make up on those appointments.
Right.
When you do reopen, you have to squeeze those in. But the dirty secret that most people don't realize in the sale of gift cards, and this also applies to rebates and things, the reason companies, especially big companies, offer things like gift cards at a discount around the holidays is because they're banking on a certain percentage of those gift cards never coming back.
Right, exactly.
Same thing works with rebates. They give you this crazy rebate because they're banking on some percentage of those customers are either going to forget or lose it or just choose not to ever redeem it. So if you do choose to sell maybe a discount package in your area because you are unable to do business right now because of COVID closures, you say, hey, when we reopen, you can redeem this, but you buy it now, support a local business, it's, $200 package for $170, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You're sure you're going to lose a little bit of money on the front end. And when you perform that service, you're doing it at a lower revenue stream, but it gets money in your pocket now to kind of help you sustain through whatever closure you're dealing with in your area. But also, if the numbers bear out, some percentage of those will never come back. And to your point, if you put an expiration on, I'm not saying, try and trick people into buying something.
No, but give them at least a year.
Put a reasonable, you put a reasonable number on it. Hey, you buy it now, it's good from this month to this month. And if a lot of people are just going to forget, I have personally bought gift cards to a few of the restaurants here locally that I'm a big fan of, Jefe's being one of them.
Delicious tacos.
You've experienced Jefe's, tacos and tequila. They're on full shutdown. They can only do curbside. So I have purchased gift cards from them under the same kind of premise. They sold gift cards saying basically, these aren't redeemable until after the holidays.
Right.
So I bought a $50 gift card. Odds are I'm probably not going to ever redeem it. I'll either forget it, I'll lose it. It'll end up at the back of a drawer somewhere, and they got my $50, which I'm fine with because that helped a business that I care about. So detailers can kind of look at that same type of perspective and go, hey, maybe you can reach out to your local community and say, hey, support a local business by buying now for service later.
Right.
Buy you some time, and get you some time. Nobody's saying this is going to be easy, and I keep kind of having to harp on guys about the fact you gotta plan for the best. Or plan for the worst and hope for the best. I mean, when we first started this whole thing back in March of this year, everybody kind of expected it to be over in a few months.
Yeah.
Here we are at the end of the year, and we're actually going backwards a little bit. So, have those contingency plans, have these things in motion. It's great to be optimistic, and I'm hoping this all kind of comes to an end very soon. But you still got to have plans that, if it doesn't, what are you going to do? And, hope is not a plan. So, putting some of these things in place now to help you get through this isn't a bad idea. And then if you have to recycle these ideas in another few months because we have another flare up of COVID or something else happens, you at least have some plans in place that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, no, that's like, so for me, that was one of the big things too, was we had, one thing I did was sell products too. So you think about like in your detail shop, if you've got little things that you can sell to your customers as well. Maybe it's, you're selling a gift certificate with maybe like a wash kit that you built or something that people can have. So then it's a tangible like Christmas item. But then they also have, hey, here's this product that I sold for $50 or whatever. You sold them a bucket with supplies. And then here's a gift certificate for a detail that is good after. That gives them something that they feel is, this is nice. Half of them aren't going to use it. But at the end of the day, it's something that's sitting under a tree too for folks where they're like, whoa, I was able to give my significant other this plus this. I used to do that with like my cans of wax. I would sell a can of wax with a detail, with a certificate for a detail. And it was easy because like we said, you get to use that on the back end afterwards. Now, just don't schedule all your gift certificates that you sold over the course of the same month or week. Try and space them out.
Zero new revenue.
That doesn't help. But try and space them out. And I used to do that. If I heard someone goes, hey, I got a gift certificate, I'd look at the week and go, I'm going to book you for next week on this day on a Wednesday or whatever. And then they go, oh, okay. Or I'd purposely book them out 2 or 3 weeks because of the fact that I'd look at my week and go, yeah, no, this is lands on payroll or this lands on this. I don't have time to really take care of that freebie at the moment. But I can take it at the start of this because I know this is when my, pay cycle's going through or stuff like that for my guys. And I know that I have money to be able to pay my employees. That way I'm not sitting there holding the bag going like, well, I'm just, here's for this car, But it's all in the grand scheme of things, what you're paying your employees, what you're paying in the chemicals, what you're paying in your overhead shouldn't be a huge burden on you financially for one car. If you think about that cost per car, so that's really what you're having to front on those free days, basically, where you're running that gift certificate.
Yeah, and going back a little bit to what you said about the lady who would bring it in with the real dirty car, you don't sell dollar value, sell a package, and sell a low package, so that you have an opportunity for upsale. So that $200 detail that you got paid for 2 months ago that you're now doing effectively for free because the money came in already and probably already was spent.
Yeah.
Then you have an opportunity to go, hey, well, that's this package, but we can upgrade you to this for a little bit more. So you can try and take that pre-sold deal and add things on to it later. That $50 glass sealant package, or hey, headlight restoration wasn't included. This gift card is good for this package and it doesn't include these things, but I can do these things. That's this much more. That person's already gotten the freebie if it was a gift, right? They received it as a gift. So a $50 stick, oh well, sweet, yeah, no, I'll do a headlight restoration for $50 or whatever. So you can turn some of that also into new revenue as well, if you don't sell out on high dollar value gift cards right away. So to your point, keep it kind of tied to a package and try and make it your low package so you have some upsale opportunity.
Well, and it's like all of us. You get a $50 gift card to, let's say, Home Depot. You're not going in to spend $50 or under at Home Depot with that $50 gift card. You're going to go find yourself something for $75, for $100, because in your brain you're like, oh, it's only going to cost me $25 or $50 because I have this $50 gift card.
Yeah, this 50 was free.
This 50 was free, so I'm going to go get me that drill, or I'm going to go get me these tools, or this kind of setup, or whatever you're going to do. You don't ever go in and go, okay, I have this for this. This is what I want to use it for. A lot of people don't think that way, and you as a detailer need to remember that, to tell your customers that a package, this is what it's for. But here's all the stuff we can do. I had a customer who would come in. He'd buy a couple gift certificates purposely at Christmas. He'd buy a couple wash kits, and then he'd make sure he tipped too. And that was really nice for me and my guys, because all of a sudden he'd buy all this stuff and he would tip, and we'd look at each other and go, holy cow, he just paid for basically, in terms of pricing, we just got a coating job for that day. But it was all just stuff, and it was just gifts. And for him, it was, these are gifts I'm giving out to a couple of my family members, to my, friends at work. This is how I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to kind of build it out this way. And that was what he was into and what he liked. And everybody always talked about how clean his car was. So he thought, why not do this? So you got to remember that your customers will do it. They just need to know about it. Mm-hmm. And if you're not taking the time to teach those customers, they're not going to know, so. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, dude, what else is going on? Like, other than being home stuck with working from home for COVID, the Thanksgiving time period, what are you foreseeing for next year? Do you have anything on the horizon as to what you can see for detailing in general? Let's say everything opens back up. How do you think next year, just as a guess, how do you think it's going to look?
I think, like most things, I think there's kind of almost like a floodgate opening type effect. If I'm looking at my crystal ball and things do reopen, let's say in March or something, there's a backlog of activity, right? There were people that wanted to get a detail. There were people that were shopping for something, but because of whatever local regulations slowed or stopped that, or maybe there's financial uncertainty because they're not sure if their job's going to be around or something like that. I always feel that there's going to be, and there was, even for us, really, I think, and I don't know if the rag company would be the same, but as we're not a direct selling entity, we have a lot of brick and mortar distributors that were closed down, and we thought, oh gosh, these poor guys, and it was a struggle for some of them. Yeah. But the moment some of these cities reopened, they did more business in a period of a couple of weeks than they did in months previously. Right, yeah. And it was kind of like this backlog, just log jam waiting. As soon as the floodgates were open, all these sales came flying through. I think the same thing is probably going to happen for detailers, film guys, tent guys, people that were kind of on the cusp of getting ready to go get that done and had to put a pin in it for the time being. As soon as people can get back out, And consumers have shown nothing else. They love to spend money when given the opportunity, and so the excuse to go out and get that detail finally done that you've been pining over for the entire time you were locked in your house. I think there's a flood of business, and it goes a little bit back to us saying the using this downtime. If you're not able to do anything else, use it to get ready, tidying up the shop, get more efficient, test that product you haven't tested yet, get your ad campaigns lined up, test some Facebook ads, look at your numbers, check the books and all that stuff. Get ready for the inevitable reality that you are going to reopen. We hope at some point, right?
And hopefully you're going to open
and
to
be
a flood.
ready for it, because and don't be caught with your pants down, right? If all of a sudden, after weeks or months of not having a lot of business, all of a sudden the floodgates are opened and you can't possibly keep up with it because you're either inefficient or your competition spent more time getting their ads targeted and stuff. You don't want to be scrambling in that moment to try and capitalize. You should be preparing yourself to capitalize on it when it does happen. So that's the optimistic look. I mean, obviously, there's also the possibility it could very much go the other way. It could be very, very slow restarting. But if I were a betting man, seeing trends over the years, and not that we've ever had anything like this, but seeing economic slowdowns, when things do get back to a certain level of normal, it tends to kind of come fast and it comes hard, and there's a surge, and then it returns to whatever the new normal is. But I'm telling you guys, get ready. I mean, it's going to happen. People aren't going to suddenly stop caring about clean, shiny cars. People like cars, and they like when they're clean and shiny, and it's just a matter of being ready for it when it hits, and not getting sideswiped and going, damn, missed opportunity. I should have been ready for all this new business.
Well, there you go. That basically sums it all up. Dylan, dude, thank you for coming on and doing this, taking some time out of your busy day at home. And if you want to find Dylan, you can find him at Dylan.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find. Find the company, RUPES. Check out our YouTube channel. We actually just, as we were talking, Levi, episode number 30 of RUPES Replies went live. So that'll be our last episode for 2020, and then we're going to start pumping out some more instructional content. So head over to youtube.com, check out the RUPES channel, find RUPES on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you could possibly see us. We are there and putting stuff out. So
awesome. Well, thanks, brother. Appreciate you coming on and doing this with me. And as always, guys, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more right here, the Rag Company YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.